Hello and welcome to Bird Bytes, the bird news program from the Kauffman Museum in North Newton, Kansas that's meant to focus your mind on birds when you can't be outside enjoying their visual beauty or their intriguing songs. I'm Gregg Friesen, and I enjoy this opportunity to share with you my passion for birds. Today, I want to talk about bird songs. As we enter into spring and summer, the sounds of the birds begin to change. This year, I first noticed the change in late February when the rather drab calls of most birds changed to the more melodious and ear-catching songs of the breeding season. This has progressed to the point that at times the early songs of birds in my neighborhood can be either a wonderful wake-up call for early risers like me or a sore clatter to those who wish to sleep late. In any event, the songs are hard to ignore. In sorting out bird songs, it helps, I've learned, to be a musical person. Now, I am not a musical person. I do play the banjo, but as some family and friends attest, that is just further proof that I am not a musical person. My friend Ron Martin, on the other hand, is a musical person. At Goshen College, I sang in the choir as an act of mercy on the part of the director. Ron, on the other hand, had a highly sought-after voice that enriched even the best choir. I hear birds making chip notes in the woods, and I have to wonder if I'm hearing a bird or an insect. Ron hears chip notes in the woods and identifies the bird to its species based on just that single note. Where that leaves me is in a place that demands much work sorting out songs. I've read the field guides, but all those vague descriptions of bird songs only leave me wondering what makes that variable mix of buzzes and trills a particular bird. So let's look at a few examples of how one can learn to master bird songs. I'm going to start with the Warbling Vireo. My field guide talks of the song as a long, melodious warbling phrase. Well, a lot of good that does if you're not familiar with this song. It seems that every spring the woodlands are full of long, melodious warbling phrases. My saving grace in learning this song was Roy Henry, a naturalist with roots in Kansas. Roy told me that he hears the birds say, "If I can see it, I can seize it, I can squeeze it till it squirts." Now that I can understand. There's some variation in the voice of the bird across the country, but once I have that pattern in my brain, I can usually sort out that I'm hearing a Warbling Vireo. Even the western subspecies of this bird, different from ours in some ways, can be identified by song once you learn that general cadence. Listen to this recording of a Warbling Vireo from Harvey County West Park and see if the phrase is clear to you. Well, next let's move on to another bird, the WhiteEyed Vireo. This bird is not as common around Harvey County, but its song is no less difficult to sort out than others. My field guide describes it as a loud, variable 5 to 7 note phrase, usually beginning or ending with a loud chick. In sorting out the song, what is unique about this bird is the cadence of the phrase. This time it was Jim Nickel who told me, "That bird's saying, 'Quick, get me a beer, chick.'" Now that, apart from the somewhat politically incorrect reference to women, I can understand. No longer do I wonder if I'm hearing a WhiteEyed Vireo or its cousin, the Bell's Vireo, which sings a truly hard-to-describe jumble of phrases. Listen to this recording of a WhiteEyed Vireo and see if you can recognize the song from the spoken phrase. Next we'll turn to warblers. Now these are the small birds that sing somewhat complex songs. Some would say they all sound alike, they're just at times harder to hear. The songs are even harder to sort out given variation found in different geographic areas, much like comparing a Kansas drawl to a Toledo slant in the voice. The black and white warbler is said to sound like a squeaky and wobbly wheel, and when you hear it, that is a reasonable description of the call. The northern parula is said to sing a buzzy trill ending in an abrupt zip. Again, that makes sense, but not all warblers are that easy. I'll focus on a more common warbler in our area, the yellow warbler. This species nests in the county, but not in large numbers. It is, however, a common migrant. Here, my field guide does me well. It matches the description of the song as taught to me by Bob Regier. That is the high-pitched phrase, "Sweet, sweet, sweet, I'm so sweet." Again, noting some geographical variation in the song, that phrase tends to give one all one needs to identify this species. Here's an example of the yellow warbler's song. My final bird song is the song of the Eastern Towhee. This is an easier song to learn from the others. My field guide and my brother-in-law Willard both instructed me to listen to the sound, "drink your tea." More accurately, it might be described as "drink, drink, drink, drink your tea," or "drink, drink your tea." Once that phrase entered my brain, I didn't have to think twice when I heard this winter visitor to our area. Its song is, I'll note, different from its western counterpart, the spotted towhee, which also can be found in this area. Oddly, an old common name for this bird is the chewink, a name derived from the rendition of its call. Listen to the following recording of an Eastern Towhee from Maxwell Game Preserve, and let the "drink your tea" phrase cement itself in your mind. Hopefully, when you're outside, you will listen to the songs that fill the air and see if in your brain the song and the bird connect. Birds sing for a variety of reasons, and the various sounds have different functions. Learning to identify birds by their songs is a wonderful way to enjoy their presence and understand in part the lives they live. I certainly have many other things to say about bird songs, but for now I'll leave those thoughts for later episodes. Until then, thanks for listening, and good birding.